Right, there is a command that I forgot to mention, that is the show telephony service, and it's going to tell you the version of CME. Um, there's a document that you can check for. I think you search for CME iOS matrix, and it's going to tell you for each iOS what's the CME version that comes with it. Alright, it's very particular. So on each version, each CME version, aka telephony service, has support for different phone types. For example, if I go back to if I go back to the telephony service ePhone, let's choose one. It's a type. It's going to tell you the listed phones that are supported. Alright, so my 1760 didn't support much, so I'm going to upgrade the iOS version. Right, so let's continue now on to my Cisco Unity connection server. So let's go ahead now. You need this in order for to get voicemail to work. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now this is basically installed using VMware Server. 80 gigabyte hard drive, about 1.5 gigs of RAM. This is version 6. Sorry, it was Cisco Unity. This is my CUCM server. As you can see, it's version 6. Right. So you install it in VMware. You make the settings as I said earlier. Hardware resources. You install it off the bootable media. I've installed up this version 7 that works. The login is typically the second password that you enter, which is your application administrator. I had some problems. I think you need to use different passwords for your administrators. I think I had a weird issue where they had the same password and they couldn't log in. But in any case, use the second administrator, which is application administrator, to log in to both your Cisco Unity and your CUCM. They both come from the same install media, and I have them running on separate virtual machines. So once you install your CUCM server and you just type in IP address, you log in as I've showed you there, you then need to go and you need to start up your services. So you're going to go to Cisco Unified Serviceability. I'm not going to show you that here, and you're going to just start those services. So okay, let me go ahead and see what the tools, and you go service activation, select all the services, and then you say save and click save. It's going to try to activate all of them, and it takes about 5 minutes. So once that is done, you go back into your administration page, and then you want to say, okay, you want to auto register. So you go to System, Unified CM, and then click on Find. Select your CCM server, and I've already entered some information, so I entered the starting number, ending directory number, something similar to what we saw in Command Express, and I uncheck this, which is enabled by default. So once I uncheck this, any phone I register is going to automatically get an IP address. I don't have to pre-configure any MAC address or any end devices for me. I want to auto register just like in CME. Click save. And then simulating dial patterns, you have what is called route patterns here. So you go to route pattern so that the server knows where to go. For example, if I want to transfer to the analog phone, I created a dial pattern called 1101. I'm gonna go to this IP address, which is my gateway. If I'm dialing an outside number, I'm gonna go to the FXS port on this machine here, on this same gateway. So how do we create the gateway? It's very simple. You go to voicemail, you go to device, gateway, and then you add what is called H23 type gateway. H23 gateway. So I'm just going to here and so show you the options that was entered. So you just have to enter the IP address for the name. This is the IP address of my voice gateway, a lot of the options here is filled in using the default options. Okay, so I just left the rest of this as the default. All I really entered was the IP address. So once that is entered, I hit save, and then you go back into the route. You can then go ahead and create your route patterns. Alright, create route patterns and point it to this gateway. So for example, if I select this one, you would see that for this pattern that's entered, starting with 6 and 5 digits, 7 digits, 6 digits afterward, I'm going to go ahead and send it out to this IP address, which is my gateway, and then he will then have the, as we showed you earlier, he will then have the pattern for this, and then it's going to send it out the FXO port. Right, so that's pretty simple. That about does it for being able to route. As we said, you can then route calls from my server. So this phone can call this phone. It goes to my CUCM server, checks the route pattern, sends it all back out to here. This checks the route pattern and knows to send it all back to here. Same way, vice versa. If this calls here, once you have a dial pattern pointing to IPv4 pointing to here, and then this phone knows that this is connected, so it's gonna just send that call right through to that IP phone. So it's pretty simple, right? So let's go ahead and change this setting here from my CME, and I want to link it now to my CUCM server. So I'm going to change IP address to the IP address of my CUCM server. Automatically it just reboots and registers back in. If I go to device, phone, click on find, you're going to see all the listed. So I have a couple devices here already connected. I have a 7912 phone on extension 115 is registered. I have the VTGO which shows up as a 7960 on 117, as you see here, and an IP phone. There's 1108, 1006, I think. Oh yes, 106, and also 1008. This was an actual IP phone that I used on the VPN connection. So you can have a site-to-site VPN connection and have, so for example, you can actually have another router on this side connected to this. Sorry, you can have another site connected over site-to-site VPN, and once the TFTP server points to here, it can then, the IP phone can register, get a number, and it's on a network. Remember, the VPN is almost as if you're on, it's like you're on the actual network, so it's going to work just as this phone works. So this phone that you see here was an actual phone that was out on a site-to-site VPN. That could actually work fine. Alright, so you treat with your IP phones on a site-to-site VPN or on another subnet, just like you would treat them, just like you would treat a regular one of these regular IP phones that you see here on your local network. Right, so for example, now let's see, we have these two phones. I can dial from this one to this one.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
So that's 1006 and calls. I can also call my desktop phone, which is a simply 912. That is 1005. Right, so they were pretty good. So that one covers it. Notice I didn't enter any of this information. This was all through automatic registration that we turned on earlier. So now